This month, after 40 years of service as a member of Congress, our senior senator from Kansas will be moving his belongings out of his Hart Senate office building to a private library. To best honor him, I'd like to share some of his original wit, some of the quips for which he's most famous. Number one, take your job seriously, but not yourself. They're not self-made men or women in public service. It's your family, friends, and staff who made you what you are. Another favorite, you're only as good as your staff. It isn't the best possible bill, it's the best bill possible. In reference to an opponent who sometimes disagrees with you, he suggested, go smother them with the milk of human kindness. On his commitment to agriculture, he once said, we live in a troubled and hungry world. Food security is national security. And when asked about why we need agriculture programs, the senator once said, you can't eat a shoe. On life, he once said, when asked about making a mistake, he suggested that you go hunker down and take it like a donkey in a hailstorm. And remember this, he once said, remember, when you roll around with pigs, you both get dirty, but only one of you enjoys it. On sports, at football games, he was often said, throw the ball to the tight end, he's wide open. And of course, we all know the senator was the unofficial tight end coach for the ever-optimistic and fighting Kansas State Wildcats. At a town hall, when a Rabbit constituent gave a forceful opposing opinion, he once replied, I'll mark you down as undecided. And I loved when he referred to Kansas University as that school over by Baker. Now, the senator, once a Marine, was always a Marine. He was often quoted saying, take the hill and Semper Fi. But my personal favorite, there's lots of cactuses in the world, but you don't have to go set on every one. When I first meet successful or influential people who I've read about or know of, I often ask myself, is there any substance to this person? Is there character and integrity? What's truly important to them? And I'd like to share, as we've gotten to know Senator Roberts and his wife, Frankie, I found that their footprints are larger than their shadows. Their hearts are bigger than their words. Their love of this country, their love of Kansas, more than any words I can find to describe. And personally, I can't imagine any memory of Senator Roberts without thinking of his bride, his South Carolina Magnolia Blossom, as he often called her, whom he married some 51 years ago. She is absolutely his rock, the person I always see standing beside him with adoring eyes. And while occasionally she gives him a gentle nudge, everyone knows she always has his back. Lane and I want to personally thank Senator Roberts and Frankie, who've embraced us with hospitality and kindness since arriving ourselves in Washington, D.C. some 4 years ago. They've shown us what it is to be an ambassador for our state. From Christmas gatherings at the White House to Farm Bill hearings in a barn, they've shown what servant leadership looks like, representing our state with dignity and grace. Senator Roberts is the only person in America's history to have his portrait in both the House Agriculture and the Senate Agriculture Committee hearing rooms. Senator Roberts has had a hand in writing 8 farm bills. He's been on a federal Congressional Ag Committee for 40 years running. Some of his greatest accomplishments include those 8 farm bills, and I'm going to reference 2 of them. The Federal Agriculture Improvement and Reform Act of 1996, which he was the first primary author and chairman, and this became known as the Freedom to Farm Bill. Chairman Roberts has often told the story, I've heard this maybe once or twice, of Senator Roberts sitting on the tongue of the wagon of the farmer in Dodge City, Kansas, with all of his farm experts. And his good friend, Leon Torlini, said, Pat, we all need freedom to farm. And sure enough, this ag policy gave producers the freedom to plant crops based on market indicators, not federal government set-aside policies. And next, I'll reference the first farm bill I participated in, the Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018, where he was the primary author as chairman. And probably most notably, this farm bill received more votes than any farm bill in modern history, with 87 in favor. I'd like to also mention the 2016 National Bioengineered Food Disclosure Act. This federal legislation created standards for labeling the food with ingredients derived from biotechnology. And then his 2000 Agriculture Risk Protection Act reformed the national crop insurance and led to its widespread use today. And finally, I'll mention Senator Roberts was always the leader in bioagro-security legislation. As chairman of the Senate Armed Services Subcommittee on Emerging Threats, Senator Roberts chaired the first Senate hearing on the threat to our nation's food supply. I'll close with this. Though Senator Roberts will always be known for his wit, being an entertaining speaker and a great interview, his actions, his accomplishments will always speak louder than any of his words. He and Frankie have been tremendous ambassadors for agriculture, for Kansas, and for America. They climbed many mountains, and they planted the flag. Senator Roberts, Semper Fi. May God richly bless you, Frankie, and your family. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.